You know what hasn't revolutionized the industry in its 1 month of availability?
Call of Duty.
Well, dynamic islands.
Good. I'm sorry. What's that?
I kind of forgot that my wife has an iPhone 14 Pro, and it has
Oh,
that
does
thing.
she? Yeah.
And I was like this tempted to get it because I was sold by their stupid commercials and everything. It's like, I need a dynamic island in my life, and I don't have one on my 13. And you know what? I have continued to wake up in the morning.
So I have three immediate thoughts about this dynamic island thing.
Good.
The first one is just Apple, right?
Right.
Apple facing ceaseless criticism for having a notch at this far into the game. Instead of just getting rid of it, admitting they were wrong, it's like, no, we're going to turn this into a freaking feature.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to shovel this down your throats.
Beautiful.
No, it's just so Apple. It's so Apple,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number two is I feel like this thing is the modern equivalent of the Touch Bar in the MacBook
Yes.
Pro, right? And the promise here is that over time, you'll see some implementation of some app or something where you're like, okay, you know what? Actually, this is really cool, and it's better than the old thing that everyone was used to. And in the case of the Touch keyboard, the Touch ID, whatever the fuck it was called, Touch Bar, that never happened,
Yeah.
right? And they got rid of it. I do believe that that's what's going to happen here. That said, my third point is it's still early, and I'm not like this rabid anti-Apple idiot. I mean, I will hold out the chance that, maybe they're right. I mean, there are things in the iPhone that seem stupid at first and actually are fine, right? So for example, I've been using the Pixel 7 Pro for the past, actually it's been almost 2 weeks, I think, or about 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. Yeah, I like it quite a bit, but as you would expect, there are these little things that I kind of miss from iOS or iPhone, right? The AirPlay thing is one of the big ones, right? That I can play to any speaker because I have Sonos speakers everywhere is huge. It's a huge convenience. But one of the goofy little things that I actually really like about iOS is the app library feature, right? Which at first I just kind of made fun of. It's like, why can't you just make a freaking app list like everyone else on Earth, And because, when you think about it, there are different levels of app launching on every platform. In Windows, I pin things to the taskbar that are the things I use the most often.
Mm-hmm.
And the things I use less often, I use Start Search, but they're just in the menu somewhere, right? And on a mobile device, you have stuff on your home screen that you access the most. Maybe you have multiple home screens, so those are kind of secondary, tertiary, whatever. But then somewhere there's a list of all the apps. And that list on Android is below the home screen, and it's alphabetical. So there's this set of apps that I use sometimes. So for example, Hue, actually I use Hue every day. I should put it on my home screen. So the light in here that's nice and bright right now is usually dimmer. And if I'm playing video games, it's really dim or off, right? And for me I'm so used to, I've been using an iPhone for the past year, right? So on Android, I have to go down and then scroll until I hit H. Don't go too far, And you would think there's like a muscle memory aspect to it, but honestly, the way it works in the app library, where you have like those giant thumbnail folder things, it's always in the same place. Like I swipe over, I click it, I'm in, and I'm out. Like I actually find that to be better. So there's a goofy Apple idea where they kind of think different or whatever. And at first you're like, they can't do everything like everyone else. But then it's like, actually, that's fine. So I guess all I'm going to say is maybe by next year, when you go to upgrade to an iPhone 15, whatever, there will be a thing where you're like, yeah, I use this app all the time and they do a nice job with that. And you never know, right? Reasonable? I don't know. No. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'd kill 3 chimps for reverse wireless charging on my phone. But
fair enough. How about, yeah, right. I'd kill 4 chimps if I could get actual fast charging on this Pixel. Whatever.
If there's any chimps listening, nothing personal. We just put you
Yeah.
on the altar of sacrification. Sacrification? Is that even a word?
Sacrification. No, but it should be. That's a good word.
Sacrification. I'm gonna. Yep, we're running with that.
Mm-hmm. The word of 2022.
Yep. right in time for December 1st.
Nailed it.
Here's another brilliantly timed potential piece of information, Paul Threat.
Okay.
Microsoft looking to potentially launch an insider program for the Surface Duo. Jesus Christ, my humidistat just kicked on or whatever. That just scared the crap out of me, which I now have to turn that off. Talking about
Yeah.
conveniently timed. Anyways, you know when a great time to launch an insider program is, Paul?
When it's been 1 year since you released the
Yeah,
last
probably
product,
when you
and
launch the product, get the enthusiasts, and that's when you have the highest
and
level
you might
of
not ever
actual
release
users
another
and
one.
market
That is
share
that
and
the time.
people farting around with
So,
your product. But you know what?
look, anyone using a Surface Duo today is obviously a fan.
Yes, that's
So
true.
there's a little audience there for sure. It's a
Are
little,
they just
you
going to
know, but
enroll everyone by force? I mean, I could do that too.
I mean, I was talking about this yesterday on Windows Weekly, so not to repeat myself, but I do feel like there's a future for Microsoft Android systems of some kind. I don't know about another Duo device, but um, I I've often speculated that a Surface Pro device running Android with the Microsoft skin going on, and the way that they very recently changed the kind of look and feel of some of the parts of the Surface Duo UI
Mm-hmm.
to kind of match Windows 11, I think is smart.
Yeah.
And you create this kind of cohesive experience with a singular design language, and then a lot of the same experiences, not just apps, but like the settings, quick settings and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's an interesting way forward. I don't mean like they should make a phone like that. I know some people still hold out hope for that, but and I've never seen the value of folding like a dual display. I don't get that, but a folding display, maybe if they could get to that notion of the one device that can replace two, maybe
Maybe not. For the people keeping score at home, sacrification is a word, according to Merriam-Webster. A making of a sacrifice.
Sacrification.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the sacrification of our careers to make this show.
Maybe.
Or at least our
We should do
credibility.
an insider podcast program where people just pay us money for no reason. I need a Porsche, Paul.